How you doing, family? I'm doing this video to kind of check in on you guys, see how you doing, and gals, family. I want to see how you're doing with your meditations, with the work you're doing on your preparations during this fall season. It's more or less a reminder of what's going on with with making sure that you're doing the footwork and that you need to be doing in order to make manifest the things you want to happen in spring. And you're seeing this in the now, in your visualizations and whatever you're doing. What I want to do here is I woke up this morning and I realized I haven't really been giving you guys a lot of time, and I wanted to just check in. I've been doing some other videos on some other topics and with some other projects, and I want to make sure that in these trying times, the election is just around the corner and there's a lot of stress going on, which is not really good during this time of year. You really want to try to avoid stress and a lot of nonsense and foolishness that's going on. But you have to admit, I told you so. I told you this was going to happen. So you had an opportunity to prepare, And since this is the first time that you've, kind of worked with me and this new workshop that I've been presenting to you with the anatomy of existence and the power of belief. And now what we're doing is we're focusing more on utilizing the law of attraction and the law of auto-suggestion, which are both the same thing, okay? So what I want to do here is I'm going to share my screen with you. I have a new piece of software that I'm using and that I believe is going to allow me to share my screen with you, and I want to make sure this is working properly. Okay, so what I want to talk with you about here, family, is I want to make sure you're in sync with what I think is the best path for you to be able to get more faster results with what you want. In order to do that, I want you to start trying some different tactics, as we talked about in the 40 movies that I did before. And I'm going to do some recapping on some of the concepts that you have to kind of, really what I'm trying to build for you is a mindset that you need to inculcate into your lifestyle, okay? And that's why the first thing on here is we're going to talk about lifestyle. And the goal of a lifestyle change or adding these new tactics into your current lifestyle is you really want to try to learn, put some tactics in place that's going to help you be able to be in the world, but not of the world. Another thing that's up there that I want you to kind of change your mind into a new paradigm of thinking, in the sense that I want you to move into a mindset that focuses on changing your beliefs so you can see a change in your life. So I want you to move from seeing as believing into believing, changing your beliefs so that you can see the things you want or the situations you want in your life. Okay? So we're going to flip that believing as seeing nonsense and turn it into what it was all originally meant to be, which is believing is seeing. Whatever you believe, that's what you're going to see manifest in your life. Okay? So the core goal is to be in the world, but not of the world. So that doesn't mean you cut everybody off. That's not what we're talking about. Again, balance, moderation in all things, moderation in all things. So if I say be in the world and not of the world, that doesn't mean you swing to some extreme. We want to avoid extremes, okay? So what you want to try to do, what you want to start doing in your life is you want to start working on managing your time. Now, I'll teach this or demonstrate this to you by telling you what I do, okay? What I've been doing, more now than I've ever done before, because the learning process is from cradle to grave. You never stop learning. So I never stop searching and seeking wisdom from others that are on the same path of righteousness. I recently taken on 4 basic, I call them kings. I got 4 kings. My first and primary king is Professor Kaba Hiawatha Kamene. He is my first primary king. He's the wisest of the elders that are around, that are active right now. The ultimate wise king that I have always and still do admire and honor is Professor Leonard Jeffries, and they're a tag team. Professor Leonard Jeffries and Dr. Leonard Jeffries and Professor James Smalls. These are my first 2 Babas or kings. But when I say king, I don't mean that I'm worshiping them. I mean that these are my wise, these are my kings. These are brilliant geniuses who travel around spreading wisdom and rebalancing African American and black people all around the world who are lost, and they're turning on the lights, and they've been guiding us for over 40 years. So I have to acknowledge them always, first and foremost. But as time goes on, people like me, neophytes like myself, and those who sat at the feet of these masters, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Asa Hilliard, who is still with us, Malefe Asante, Brother Malefe Asante, one of the most brilliant, wise kings that we have. But now I've taken on 4 new kings. Professor Kaba Hiawatha Kamene, Brother Philippe Matthews, and younger king, Brother Asar Imhotep, as well as, last but not least, my most revered brother, king, is Jeremiah Kamara. These 4 kings, the reason why I'm focusing on them is these are the 4 kings that are really on the cutting edge of turning on the lights, and they strike a beautiful balance with Brother Isar, who tends to be more, and Brother Philippe Matthews, who tends to be more like I am. We're more practical. We're the practical philosophers. We're the practical teachers who learn how to teach younger people where they are. We're the more urban, the more contemporary Jedis of our time, who are raising awareness of a lot of you younger folks out there who are searching for the truth, searching for wisdom and strategies and tactics that can help to strengthen your mind and free and remove the shackles of Stockholm syndrome and all of the pathologies that come out of the post-traumatic enslavement syndrome. You have to have a scientific approach on how to overcome these things. You can't just figure this stuff out. That's why I wrote my book, because I went through all that process of figuring stuff out. And the world is too complicated now, folks. We can't figure this out any longer. It's way too complicated. You can stumble and bumble and maybe get lucky here and there, but that's not the kind of evolutionary process that the universe wants us to move in, because I've discovered all of these wise people, and therefore, if it is meant to be, okay? And it already is. These wise people are here, and they are sharing this wisdom. And what I did, well, lucky for you, is I put it all together in one place in these YouTube videos. You don't have to read 1,000 books. You don't have time to read all of this stuff. You have to go to work. You have to raise your families. You have to take care of yourself. You have to clean up a lot of garbage that you've been living through all your life, and now you stumble on to some righteousness and some wisdom. And my job is to make sure I give it to you both barrels and get you on the fastest track to getting yourself together. And then I want you to go out. You're not supposed to stay here forever. I don't need no worshipers. I need you to take this knowledge and get out in life and start living it immediately, by one piece at a time. Add one piece into your program. Okay. So these are the four kings: Professor Kaba Hiawatha Khomeini, Brother Baba Philippe Matthews, and he is also Baba Kaba. Baba Philippe Matthews, Baba. I'm going to switch the titles around because of age respect. Baba Jeremiah Kamara. In age, these three brothers are older than Brother Esar Imhotep, but Brother Esar Imhotep is the key. He is the key pivotal brother who really brings it home. He's the one you're going to relate to. He's the soldier. He's the young black knight who is really out there in the streets on your level. Most younger people may be a little older now, but if you're in your late 20s and 30s, Baba Imhotep, Esar Imhotep, that's the person you want to really watch a lot of his YouTube videos. They may be a little meticulous and whatnot in terms of methodology, and he is extremely brilliant with methodology and left side brain. His left side is truly active because he is a computer programmer by training. So his left side is very active. Same with with Baba Philippe Matthews. Baba Philippe Matthews and Baba Esar Imhotep. These two brothers are really, they're the down-to-earth, practical, like myself. They're on the ground working with this stuff in a more practical, and their focus is more practical and realistic and real world. Baba Kaba is he's a spiritual genius. He is the writer of our new Black Bible. He his focus is scientifically meticulous on a level that is incomprehensible for me. I find him to be overwhelmingly detailed and micro explicit when it comes to the science of spirituality and the physical plane as well, the metaphysical and the physical plane, as it relates to culture and spirituality. So those are the four brothers that have really been guiding me, and I'm focusing on like a laser beam now, because they're the whole package. You get these four, you put these four kings in your back pocket, and you in your front pocket, your side pocket, any kind of pocket you can get them in. You make sure you plug into these brothers and tap into it is a ocean of knowledge that they have accumulated over the past anywhere from 20 to 40, 50 years. Professor Kaba goes back 50 years. Devastating amount of knowledge and wisdom. Okay? So what you want to do is, and I want to go to the very end and look at number 6 on this list, and we will talk about where I mentioned folding time. That is a concept that Baba Philippe Matthews tapped me into, and helped me to actually get that concept actually working, where I had not really understood it before. But I get where he's coming from now. He's the brother that's going to give you the frequency videos that will have the musical frequency chimes and rhythmic sounds that are going to help stimulate the brain activity into opening up these chakras within your spirit and in the physical body, that will allow you to be able to feel and become more aware of your microcosmic self. Okay, we, in America and throughout the world, in a white supremacy environment, is very toxic, and it brainwashes you into a lot of backwards and contorted, demented kind of mentalities that you have to break these shackles on your mind. And that's why I say you have to free your mind of these shackles and all this demented, backwards mentality that comes from a demented, backwards group of people who have just arrived on the planet not more than 6,000 years. That's why in their religion, in their Bible, they say the world began 6,000 years ago. They're right. That's when they crawled out of the caves, and that's when they were introduced to the civilized world by Africans who have been on the planet for hundreds of thousands of years. They only have 6,000 years under their belt. Okay? And they were once Africans, black Africans, but now they've gone into the caves. They got caught in the ice age, and hundreds of thousands of years, this is what they came out to become. But those are black African people, because when they went in the cave, there were no white people on the planet. So that's why I'm saying in number 3 up here, you have good people and less good people. There are no bad people on the planet. You have demented people, dysfunctional people, unhealthy people, but they're not bad because they're unhealthy. That's just the situation they were born into, and it's all a part of the spice of life that the universal spirit has created, and it's all good. There is no such thing as bad. There is just dysfunctional. Okay, they're dysfunctional, and we have to make them more functional. And time will make them more functional, because you have an infinite perfect spirit. You are an infinite perfect spiritual being, expressing itself through these different physical form vehicles. Okay, and it's been set up this way on purpose. So I want you to free your mind of guilt and searching for blame. There is no reason to blame God or blame anything. There is no mistakes. It's just about us learning how to interpret the will of God. And the will is to seek opposite. Perfection is going to seek imperfection. And we're in the middle of that process. And because you have to understand that at the end of the journey, once you reach perfection, there is only one place to go. And that's back to imperfection, to make sure that we never ever get stuck in a perspective of perfection. Because that in a perspective of perfection, there is nothing to do, nowhere to go, and there is nothing you don't know. So there is no adventure, there is no purpose in a perfect vacuum. There is no purpose. And we don't want to experience that. We want to have fun. So that's my concept. And that's why I believe you will always have adversity, challenges. As horrible as this physical life is, at times for people who have been enslaved and traumatized and terrorized and murdered and slaughtered by the mutated Africans that have crawled out of the caves over 6,000 years ago. This is all a part of a plan. And you have to keep that in mind when you start to get stressed out over white supremacy, over racial issues, over a lot of the hatred you see that's spewing out of DC right now. As they begin to die off, these are the mutates, then they're dying off, and the world is becoming more awakened and more aware, and they understand the uselessness of their brutality, and that the evolutionary process always moves us back to being more perfect. Okay, so let's look at time management. Time management, what I mean about that is your mind and this environment that we're experiencing here works on a time continuum. Okay, so since the physical body form vehicle that your microcosmic being is riding around in, you have to really manage your time and project. Make sure you're spending more time projecting thoughts rather than reacting to thoughts. And I talked about that in the last movie. Talked about the difference between reactive thoughts, projective thoughts, and random thoughts. Thoughts that just flap around and just have no real... And all of these kinds of random thoughts and reactive thoughts, they are a part of the instinctive intelligence reaction to phenomenon that happen within the time-space continuum. The senses, the 5 senses that you have, are all being triggered by phenomenon that's happening in the time-space continuum. So the point you have to always remember, and why you do your meditations, is to remember that you are not the body. You are not the thoughts you have. You're not even the mind space that you use to traffic thoughts and process thoughts. You are not that mind space. You are the watcher that is watching the experience and experiencing the sensations that are being transmitted to this form vehicle and to the microcosmic being that you are. You will always be the watcher. You cannot die. Okay? So therefore, you have to manage your time so that your mental and metaphysical energies are under the control of you, the microcosmic being that uses intuitive intelligence and awareness. Okay? You are the microcosmic being that is a microcosmic extension of the macrocosmic being. The macrocosmic being is eternal, cannot die, and does not think. Does not think. You, the microcosmic being that has the gift of intuitive intelligence and awareness. The intelligence is one component. The awareness is a whole nother gift. That's the most powerful gift of them all, that gives you the ability to realize the perspective of being other than the macro. So you develop a whole cadre of personality, awareness, and perspective. The personality comes from the form vehicle. The body vehicle develops a personality. That's why it is a person that can be named. Okay? But you, the microcosmic being, you cannot be named because you are the macro. You are an extension of the macro. You cannot die. You have no real place in time or space. You are experiencing time and space through the form vehicle that you were born into. You are but you are the power. You are the battery that turns on the lights. You are so powerful. You just don't know it. You haven't been reminded. That's my job, is to wake you up and remind you of what you are. And you're gonna fully realize that when you start to experiencing accomplishments and achievements with this new mindset, using these new tools, using this new awareness. And the awareness alone and the reminding of what you are, you're going to remember. You're going to feel it. And the remembering is a feeling. You're going to all of a sudden realize you always knew this stuff because you have always been. You can never not be. What you can do is you can forget, because you do not have mind. You do not have thoughts. You can project thoughts, okay? But like the macrocosmic being does not think. The subconscious mind is the macrocosmic being. It does not think. It only says yes. Whatever you say I am, it's going to say yes and get to work producing it, especially if you repeat it. And that's why the law of attraction and the law of autosuggestion are always at play. And my job is to remind you. See, you have all these things that you need to be focused on. You ain't got time to be watching no television, no stupid nonsense, Judge Judy and all that stuff. You can watch it every now and again, but you getting it together. You can't be watching that kind of foolishness. You getting it together. Okay? You gotta get it together. And the only way you're going to do that is you got to make sure that your focus is largely in training. You're in training right now. So your focus has got to largely be on covering the bases, because you're playing catch up. Your physical being has been allowed to run amok. You've been miseducated into believing that you're a lot of things that you're not. So we're playing catch up. I'm trying to catch you up and wake you up and get you up to speed. Okay, so you got to look at managing and doing your meditations. And when you're not doing your meditations, I want you to walk through the world and be in the world, but not be of it. Because while you're traversing the world and interfacing with people in the world, I want you to practice these skills. And remember, my person feels hungry. My person feels tired. My person feels anger. My person feels happy. See? And whenever you feel something, it's your person that's feeling it and transmitting it to the microcosmic being that is experiencing it while it's here. Okay? But your person may be whatever it is. Your person is all these things, but it's not you. You know how you know it's not you? It's because when you go to sleep at night and your body is out of the game, who's doing all that thinking? Who's doing all of that dreaming? What is it that is seeing the dream? Your body's not involved. So that must be the real you. And you know what? If you're experiencing the dream, you can't be sleeping. You got to be awake. You got to be aware. So this happens every night, folks, and this is your proof. It's not my proof, it's your proof. You can't argue with that. Your body is out of the game, and yet you're still aware. So what is that? Just think critically. This is where critical thinking comes in. If your body is out of the game, who's doing the watching of the dream? Who's experiencing the dream? That's the real you. And check this out. Your body has to sleep, but yet you're still aware. So that's what I mean when I tell you, you don't sleep, you don't die. You are forever. You are always awake. But here's the good part. The way the macrocosmic being set it up, you are the whole show. You are the most important entity in the whole setup, because you are the entity that has awareness that you are separate, or has the illusion of separation, or the perspective of micro, as opposed and juxtaposed against macro. Just that awareness alone is the most valuable gift in the world. And every lifetime you have to have somebody like me to wake you up and explain it to you and remind you of what you are. Okay? So as you're going through the day, you want to mentally be conscious and aware that you are not the body and you are experiencing this life. So everything that is happening is just for the sake of an experience, of a journey. Okay? So why not have fun? Okay? Why not flex and build the muscle of the law of attraction by repeatedly visualizing thoughts of yourself having and feeling yourself having hit the lottery, driving in a brand new Tesla, having the state-of-the-art best stuff that's out there, and realizing that there's nothing you can't have. You can have whatever you want. All you have to do is form the thought in your mind repeatedly. Bring in the feelings, bring in the emotions, bring in the clarity, bring in the colors, bring in the smells, bring in the sounds. Bring all of those things. See, that's a job. See, that's called focus. You have to focus on bringing in the sounds. You have to focus on bringing in the smells. You have to focus on bringing in the colors. You have to focus on bringing in the clarity. You have to focus on laser sharp clarity of this event happening. You have to focus on feeling the fur of the pets that you have. That's what I do in my visions. I focus on listening to their heartbeat, laying on their stomach. I focus on all the micro details of that during the day. And this is what helps you to do the last thing that's on this list, number 6. You fold time. You bring what has not yet been manifested into the now. And the more you do that, you're pumping that energy into helping the subconscious machine get to work to create what you are seeing in your mind. Because whatever you repeat and whatever you see, whatever you think in your mind repeatedly, with the focus of, with the feelings and with the emotions, with the clarity, with the smell, with all the sensations in real time, at that time that you are visualizing it, then you're bringing that which is not yet here into the now. That's what folding time means. And that's how you fold time. It took me a long time to figure this out, folks. But this is the most valuable tool that you have. Your mind and your ability to manipulate the mind space. It's not your mind. It's the mind that comes with the form vehicle. I want to always keep you clear on the separation of what you are. I don't want you to ever lose focus of the essence of what you are, because that's where you tap into your power, because your power comes directly from God itself. Itself, no he, she, forget about that. You are it, having a human experience. And in order for that to happen, you have to have this separation, or this illusion of separation, as a microcosmic watcher that is just watching the show and picking up the sensation and the interface between the physical form vehicle and yourself. And that awareness that you have with you, that works and manipulates the intuitive intelligence that's picking up all kinds of endless, unlimited information, that you can tap into it whenever you're ready. But you have to practice using it, manipulating it, working it. Okay? And that's why I'm doing this with this YouTube video. I want to remind you of what you are and what you need to be focusing on. Okay, so that's the mental and metaphysical mind time management that you have to do. You want to do your meditations. During your meditations, sometimes you'll focus on what you see yourself having now. And then sometimes you want to meditate and not try and work on building the capacity to not think at all and just watch the thoughts go by and realize I'm not the thoughts. Those are just thoughts going by. I'm just watching. I'm going to focus on what I'm not going to project thoughts. I'm going to just sit back and just watch thoughts, watch thinking happen, because it's just happening. And some people may be so gifted that they can actually stop thoughts from happening. I'm not one of them. For me, thoughts, my sensation that this vehicle came with is constantly pumping thoughts. The only time it doesn't pump thoughts is when I'm projecting my own thoughts. Okay? I've been blessed not to have been raped or traumatized in that sense. I have experienced some witnessing of other people being traumatized. And that has given me a little bit of post-traumatic experience that this physical form vehicle has gone through, and replays with reactive thoughts every now and again. Okay, but for those of you who are suffering with or dealing with bipolar, all kinds of emotional lack of control, which may come from puberty and a whole bunch of other physical changes that the body is going through, and it starts to send erroneous signals to the microcosmic watcher that you are. You're just a watcher, so you're just being impacted by these experiences, and you need to learn that you don't have to react to all of these. Sometimes the best thing to do is stand still and don't react at all. Take the position of the watcher and do what number 5 says here. I am the watcher. When it gets too stressful, step back and say, wait a minute. I don't even have to care about all this stuff, because at the end of the day, I can't die. I am forever. And I don't have to react. In fact, I'm pulling out. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch. And at the end of the day, your ultimate statement is, so, and, yeah, I can't die. So what? I don't care. Just don't care. Whatever's going on here, don't care. That's the most healthy reaction you can have. Now, short of you being in an active firefight, or someone is actually physically trying to punch you or attack you in some way, then you go into full fight or flight. You do, of course, that's common sense. I'm not talking, again, avoid extremes. Avoid extremes. Okay? Basic, normal reaction. But when you have the ability to choose, I want you to choose to engage in a methodical and systematic way. And when you're overwhelmed, and if it is not a physical situation, if it's just verbal, then you can simply choose to disengage and not react. Okay, especially when you feel like you get ready to see red and you want to pull back. Just remember, folks, none of this stuff is real. This is a temporary existence. And no matter what, you have evidence of it everywhere, of the millions of times that you have reincarnated into this time-space continuum. You have evidence of it all over the place. Archaeologically, you can geographically, you can find evidence of human form vehicles existing hundreds of thousands of years ago. That was you. That was you in another lifetime, in another time. That was you. You cannot die. So at the end of the day, you have to remember, number 5, I can't die. So what? since I can't die, then I don't really have to care about all this stuff. But I want to engage. See, that's why I'm here, is to engage. But you want to engage in an intelligent and methodical and systematic way. And you have to develop your own system and your own methods of dealing with and processing interaction within this world. But at the same time, you want to, by having more discipline and a disciplined focus and a disciplined approach, you are channeling that unlimited energy that you actually have access to. Okay? You are God having a human experience as a microcosmic being that has the awareness and the perspective of being other than the macro. See, if you stay focused on your essential self, which is the microcosmic being, you stay tapped into that unlimited energy. And you just have to work on building your beliefs. As you build your beliefs, you will turn on the faucet. You will unleash the waterfall of absolute unlimited ability to manifest whatever you want. Okay? So that gets in. So the way you can do that easier and better is by working on your physical. Work on your diet and work on your exercise. Diet wise, you want to bring in, cut back on the meat. You want to, if you do decide to do meat, keep it down to chicken, turkey, fish. These are the less, I should say, resistive meats, and that you, if you're going to eat meat, you want to stay away from the beef, pork, and any kind of red meats. You want to avoid those because they're really going to tax your system and like distract. You know, you're going to cause your body to have to work so hard that you're going to distract, and you're going to probably create less healthier situations. And you want to make it as healthy as possible so that energy can flow through the form vehicle. Or at least the form vehicle is not going to create so much resistance that it's messing with the flow of your mental into the subconscious, so the things you can create manifest the things that you want in existence. Okay? So that's what you have to work on. The way you do that is you control the diet. You want to get your grains in there. You want to have your brown rice. You want to blanch your vegetables, peas, carrots, corn. Well, carrots, stay away from that if you're black. You don't want no carrots. It's high acid. Stay away from carrots, tomatoes, things like that. High acid, bad for black people. You want to, no salt. Get rid of salt altogether. We have refrigeration now. We don't need salt. That's old school. You want to bring in your brown rices. Now, my diet consists of the same foods all the time in different variations. I always eat low sodium turkey meats and cold cuts and things like that haven't had too much processed. Very low or no sodium. I use the lighter cheeses if I do cheat and have those kind of animal products. And then I try to have all of my breads and things have some kind of brown natural fiber built into it, as well as I take my colon cleanse twice a day. Okay, and I basically eat the same stuff and have been eating the same stuff for the last 40 years. Brown rice, I'll throw in some peas, sometimes some broccoli, sometimes some corn. Corn is, and I don't do too much corn because corn is very hard for the body to digest. And so I'll do that. I'll do spinach, I'll do black beans, and I'll mix those in. Sometimes I'll do, if I can get callaloo, I would search far and wide if I could get callaloo. Callaloo is very difficult to find. It's an African plant, a vegetable that is very difficult to find in America. But if I could get my hands on some callaloo. And turnip greens, those are my favorite. Turnip greens, spinach, callaloo if I can get it. Turnip greens, spinach, callaloo. Stay away from collard greens unless you can pressure cook them and break them down into softer, more digestible. But you will look at your bowels when you do your bowels, you will still see the corn and you will still see collard greens whole. They have not been digested because your system cannot digest those things. But callaloo, spinach, these are softer leafy greens. Your body can easily digest these things. Black beans, anything that's black, brown, or with color is full of nutrients, and that's what you want to inculcate into the body. So you want to feed the body fibrous, nurturing things that will empower the body to heal itself. The body can basically heal itself. You have to help it with positive thoughts. You have to define yourself. You have to say, I have excellent health. I am in excellent health. I am in perfect health. I am healing. You're using your I am directive, your I am command. This is your I am commandment. I am whatever. I am successful. I am perfect. I am healthy. I have excellent health. I am. Okay? Whatever follows after I am, that's what the universe said. Oh, okay. That's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to get to work giving you more of that. So don't ever say I am anything negative. Just don't do it. And so that's another mindfulness that you have to develop over time. Don't be hard on yourself. It's going to take time. And don't worry. See, at least if you make a mistake now and you're aware of it being a mistake, that's a better position to be in. You see, that's different. That's not the same. That's not reinforcement. That's actually changing the direction of the ocean liner. And that's what you want to do. Even if you don't do it perfectly, don't worry about it. The fact that you're aware of it, there's the growth. There's the improvement. There's the change. There's the evolutionary process at work, becoming better. Okay? That's what you want to see. All right? So now the personal perspective, I've already talked about it. You can't die. You are the micro being. Okay, as the micro being, though, what I want to reinforce with every video is that as the microcosmic being, you are the one in charge. You are the awareness that has the blessed gift of intuitive intelligence. Now that I've woken you up and I've told you what you are, now your intuitive intelligence, which is tapped directly into the macrocosmic being. So your wisdom is going to come to you from all directions, because all you have to do is ask, and it shall be given unto you through people, through circumstance, through movies, through music, through song, through activities within the world. The answers will come to you. You have to develop the ears and the eyes to see the answer, because you are the director of the question. So only you are going to become aware of the answer. And you have all of these powers built in at birth. No one human being has more than the other. We all have equal access. That's what the awakening, that is what I'm doing now, by reminding you of what you already are and what you already have. You were born with it. You just didn't know, because the education system we have stinks. It is not an education system. It is an indoctrination system, which is training you to be a slave, a mental slave now. They don't need physical slaves anymore, folks. They got your mind. With that religion, they got your mind, because they got you terrorized. The first thing that let you know how you know your religion is false and is not good for you is that you are scared to do things. Anytime you're scared, that's your first indication something is wrong. And you need to get the hell out of whatever system you've been using, because nothing I've said to you, and I'll repeat this every time I do my videos, nothing I've said to you should make you feel afraid, because you can't die. So what are you scared of? Nobody can touch you. Nothing can touch you. So I'm empowering you not with fear. I'm empowering you with fearlessness. That's how you know it's righteous. Righteousness doesn't make you afraid ever. Spirituality doesn't make you afraid ever. See, cults make people afraid because they're weak and they don't offer you anything except slavery and oppression and exploitation. They will use you. Exploitation is the ability to use somebody for your own personal gain. That's called exploitation. And I don't want to exploit you. I want to empower you. I want to free you. I want you to be a soldier that stands alone and kicks ass all by yourself and puts these brutes in their place. So that means you got to get your martial arts together. You got to get some Aikido, get some Jiu-Jitsu under your belt, get some Capoeira. My brother Isar Imhotep, he's a master at Capoeira. Okay? All of us have martial art training under our belt. You cannot be a Jedi without some kind of martial arts or physical training or ability to defend and fight for righteousness. You have to arm yourself with wisdom and skills and training. That's what this is all about. That way you're going to have a more enjoyable life, free of fear. The main thing you have to be free of is fear. Okay? So let's move on. I talked about the intuitive intelligence. The intuitive intelligence must train the instinctive intelligence. This is plain and simple. We ain't getting into no crazy, not crazy, but no mystical, we ain't getting into none of that. You have an intuitive intelligence that comes with the microcosmic being and the awareness. The intelligence that comes is intuitive. That intuitive intelligence must train the instinctive intelligence of the body form vehicle. The body form vehicle, the instinctive intelligence, has to be trained through repetition, like everything else, cycles, repeated cycles, over and over and over again. That's what you must do in order to train the instinctive intelligence. It is like a dog, an animal. You have to train it by repeatedly telling it stuff. When it goes away, pull it back and say, no, do this. It goes on off to the left, come back over here. I said, do this. And all it's going to eventually, it's going to say yes. But if the first 2 times, 3, 4, 5 times, you're going to say, you ain't serious. Because you've been letting me run around here and do whatever the hell I want. So now you want me to take you serious? You're going to have to say it more than once or twice. Because you done trained me to do whatever the hell I want. By allowing me to do whatever the hell I want. See, again, the intuitive intelligence, if it's not awakened early in your physical form vehicle development, if you are not, the intuitive intelligence is not awakened and reminded of what it must do to train the instinctive intelligence, then pretty soon the instinctive intelligence will grow into be a real wild animal. And you now have to do 3, 4 times, 5 times the work. And these filthy things that are running the planet, they know this. And they purposefully don't tell you that. So that your instinctive intelligence will get out of control. And then they'll say, oh, look, something's wrong with you. You're crazy. Oh, look, you need us to do this for you. You better come over here and give us 10% so we can help you get on your knees and pray to a God or to in some heaven that don't exist, some hell that don't exist. And then in the meantime, you're getting all kinds of nonsense. So all of that is a waste of time. So that's why I tell everybody, throw the Bible out, lock, stock, and barrel. Pick up Professor Kaba's book, Spirituality Before Religions, and get yourself back on track. And I have no fear in telling you, throw that Bible in the garbage, back where they got it from. Because it's some made-up garbage that they just slapped some pieces and some hodgepodge, haphazard, slipshod crap that they just threw together, and they got a couple of nanites of truth that people clinch on to so they can stay in that lazy situation where they don't have to do no work. Because God is going to do it for you. Jesus somewhere else is going to do it for you. Everybody's doing something but you. And that's what we're going to change that paradigm. Oh, no, no. You have to do everything. See? Because you are the only one controlling everything. You're the only one that can control everything. Otherwise, what you're getting is slipshod, haphazard nonsense that just happens to be happening. See? That's why you'll only go but so far. And you'll never go beyond that. Okay? So, that intuitive intelligence and awareness has to control and train the instinctive intelligence that runs the autonomic systems of the physical form vehicle. Okay? Pivotal knowledge. All right? And there are no good people. There are no bad people. They're just people that are less good, less trained, less aware, less functional. And my goal is to make you functional, aware, and more in control of everything in your environment. Okay, family? Please feel free to email me with any questions. I'm going to try to do some live sessions and I'm not going to do any live sessions if I don't get any emails. Okay, if I don't get any texts or any emails, then there's no sense me even setting up a live session. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to waste my time. Okay, and if there's nobody out there that's really need any of this knowledge in depth, and they would like a real time experience with me, then I'll wait until you folks start texting me and or emailing me with requests that you want to get this knowledge. Okay, family. So there you have it. Okay, I hope that this recording went through properly. We'll see. And we'll take it from there. Okay, family? Be well. Do your meditations. We're still doing the social distancing. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Okay, the election is right around the corner. Hopefully we'll get rid of that filthy thing in D.C. and we can get back to having a normal, functional lifestyle. Okay, where people are sane and doing things that are rational and normal and make sense. And we can get our kids back into school in a healthy environment, okay, where they can begin to learn. All right, but another thing I want to tell you, you can't blame the education system for the way your kids are brought up. When you get off from work, cut that TV off, throw that Bible in the garbage, and get yourself, take some time and watch some of these YouTube movies with your children and start them out early. Don't let them be like you. Don't let them have to struggle through all the garbage and the crap and the unlearning and the dysfunction. Start your children off early. Give them the gift of freedom where they can remove fear, anxiety, and doubt. These are hope and faith and all this nonsense. Those things are for the ignorant people who don't know what the hell they're doing. So you need faith and hope when you're out of control. But see, when you have knowledge and wisdom, you don't need faith and hope because you know what you're doing. Okay? This is where it's at, folks. There is no doubt, hoping and faith in it. That's nonsense. See? That's why they got you forever a slave, depending on something outside of yourself to do what you need to be doing for yourself and your children. Free yourself and free your children. Give them the freedom of peace and strength that comes from knowing and wisdom of facts that you know scientifically will and do work. There is no need for faith and hope in a situation where you have wisdom and knowledge. Because now you're just getting up and you doing what you know is going to work. Remember what Yoda said, do or do not. Yoda never said, you never heard Yoda in Star Wars say anything about faith or hoping. Okay, family? Get it together. Keep doing the work. See your visions. Bring in the emotions. Bring in the tactile feelings. Petting your animals. Touching the car. Tactily feeling that which has not yet been manifested. And that is the way you're going to fold time and make it move from being over here to being right here where you are. The more you see it, remember, as Baba Philippe Matthews always quotes Reverend Johnny, can't think of her name right now, I'll post it up on the video. And she says, you are the thinker that thinks the thought that makes the thing. So you have all of these examples of people giving you these truths that are all around you. And this is always, it always comes back to you. Not Jesus up in heaven, God somewhere over in heaven somewhere. God ain't in no place. God is right there next to in you. You are God. You. Okay? Go in power. Rest in power. Move in power. Move in knowledge. Move in wisdom. Okay? And stay aware. Wake up. Stay in your zone of awareness. And be empowered by the ability and the knowledge and the wisdom of what you are and who you are and what you are capable of, which is unlimited potential to kick ass and do whatever you want. Okay, family? Take care, be well, and I'll see you in the next movie.